Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be covering a type of dollar bill that is worth so much purely because it's got a cool pattern of numbers on it, and that's going to be the lucky sevens, 777777777, 8 sevens in a row serial number on US notes. We'll also be covering what they're worth on world notes, but it's a good reminder you should be looking whenever you get a piece of cash in a transaction to see if it's got a crazy serial number, because these are not the only ones that could be worth thousands on an otherwise, $1 bill, $5 bill. So we'll be going through some auction results and just thinking through these crazy notes and what you can expect if you get one of these in your pocket change. So here's our first example, the classic $1 bill denomination, solid sevens in really nice condition. And this sold for about $1,470, so a really nice multiplier there, over 1,000 times the face value. And there's nothing about this note that makes it rare outside of those 8 sevens, pretty clearly over here, underneath. It's not like the Chicago, Illinois is going to make that better. It's actually quite rare that it's actually recognized because the life of a bill is really not that long, especially compared with coins. And while there are a lot of different, it's not like 1999 only had one 7777777. Often they are not found, so it's really quite challenging actually to have these come up for auction, and when they do, they generally attract pretty strong bidding, like this one, a $10 bill that was back from 2008, was not graded, but that one sold for over $2,000, and while the multiplier isn't quite as good, it's still a much higher value and over $2,000 above the spending value, and you can sort of expect that, really wherever you are in terms of the denomination on these, as long as the bill isn't super worn down. Here is one that recently sold for over $6,000. Now this is a little bit of a rarer note. It still has all 8 serial numbers. You'll see on some of the world notes later that it isn't always the case that these notes are having 8. The more digits there are, the more rare it's going to be, obviously, to have one of these solid sevens notes. But this one, was a silver certificate from 1953, has been preserved in really nice condition, and people certainly paid a premium for it. That also, will come down on a note that has a little bit of wear. This one is a good reminder that you can find these in circulation potentially. This one is about uncirculated. It's a 58, still really nice paper quality, but graded 58, sold for $1,320, so a little bit less than the 65 that was seen also in the $1 denomination, but still a great reminder, and almost more encouraging because it was pulled out of circulation instead of just being picked out of a bank strap or taken immediately once it was discovered. It must be a great feeling if you're a teller and you discover one of these, a strap of all, because it's not like the 7777, etc., and then the last digit is a 6 or something. Those are still pretty valuable. People do pay up for like binary notes, especially if it's a bunch of them in a row, or just like 2. Sometimes people say binaries is only zeros and ones, but this is a good example of a solid sevens note that sold for a lot more than normal. This is actually the very first $1 bill that the United States made. Our first, national paper currency was like 1861, but they did legal tender notes for the 5, or demand notes, I think they were called, for the 5, 10, and 20. They didn't do the $1 until the following year. This one sold for $12.60, probably, as opposed to like 200 or 250, because it's pretty worn, but you can see it has 5 sevens in a row. And I think that premium would be way higher if we were making, millions of notes a year. But in this case, we just had the serial number going up to 5. Here is an example, again, on a higher denomination where it's pretty rare. I didn't see any $100 bill solid 7 auction results, but this one, $50 bill, has been preserved really nicely, sold for $4,230. So I think as those denominations get higher, there's probably less of those bills being produced, and the numbers paid for them at auction similarly increase. Here we get our first world note, and this one is going to be a Hong Kong $1,000. I really like how the expanding sevens, like the size gets larger. Now this is only a 6 digit serial number, but people still care about this. Obviously, if you're a Hong Kong collector, if you are maybe looking for notes that are really aesthetically appealing and have the sevens, I think this is a great one. It has sort of the old Tang Dynasty cash coin, and somebody paid $1,790 for this. Though I think that it has I think Hong Kong dollars have a decent exchange rate. There's also an example of where some are relatively common. This is a 2013 India 100 rupees 1 through 9 set, so it includes a 777 note. This is now for 6 digits, but it only sold for $105, but it has 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. So it's a good reminder, just because something is all solid, the numbers, doesn't mean you should automatically pay a ton. Obviously, you want to research what country you're buying from. And in this case, the more modern Indian notes are not quite as valuable for having fancy serial numbers. Similarly, this one was, still from a long time ago. Here it's 2013. This is a 1979 note, 5 rupee, and it has solid sevens. Only people paid $70 for it. And then you can compare that with a Great Britain, United Kingdom 10-pound note. Same 6 digits. It's not like there's any more, but this sold for $630. So it really, really can depend. There's a ton of different variation. This is our last note from Thailand, and I think it's interesting. They have sort of different number systems, but they still incorporate the Arabic numerals, which is like the ones that we know. This one sold for $780 and had 7 sevens, so that's a pretty nice. We got 8 sevens. Maybe cooler to have 7 sevens. It's sort of the perfect sevens note. Only thing is that 4F, if that had turned to also a 7, would have been pretty awesome. But that concludes this brief presentation. Just wanted to talk you through some of the different values and really just highlight something that I find really interesting. These are quite achievable to just look for when you're getting money back in change. I always check the serial number. It's kind of fun, and sometimes you find something good. I haven't made a major find outside of some cool birthday notes that I've been able to connect with the people that have those birthdays, but it's something that I continue to do, and always reading up on the news as people find some pretty ridiculous stuff out there in circulation in the regular world. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasuretownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasuretownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.